Good morning from Tahlequah, Oklahoma.
Good morning.
So we have driven about 2 hours from the house to come to this little town in Oklahoma. This is a very museum-packed day, so Riley girl is hanging out at the cabin in Missouri. Feels weird to be in a different state from her, but I think she's going to manage just fine.
We are in what's considered Cherokee Nation in Oklahoma, so we are going to be checking out a lot of Cherokee museums. Some facts, Cherokees have been around since apparently 8,000 BC. Not here, but in southern Appalachia. Cherokee Nation is also the largest tribal nation in the United States today.
So Cherokee people were actually forced to relocate to Oklahoma during the Indian Removal Act of the 1830s, more commonly known as the Trail of Tears.
So the first museum that we're going in that we thought was fitting to start with is the Cherokee National History Museum. So we'll learn a lot about Cherokees. I think we're also going to check out a prison museum. There's probably like 10 or so different museums in the area. Unfortunately, we don't have time to hit all of them today, so we'll see which other ones we get to. But yeah, we're starting with the National History Museum.
On the first floor of the museum, visitors get a chance to read the Cherokee Nation land patent signed by U.S. President Martin Van Buren in 1838. The patent granted legal title to more than 13.5 million acres of land in Indian Territory to Cherokee Nation.
We learned one of the Cherokee creation stories, which recounts a time long ago when Cherokee people lived on an island south of what is now the United States. Their island became tormented by earthquakes that led to a volcanic eruption. Approximately 14 groups departed in canoes to find a new home.
The people set forth across a vast expanse of water, traveling for weeks. Not every canoe survived this dangerous journey. Only 7 canoe groups remained when they reached the shores of an unfamiliar land. These groups would become the 7 Cherokee clans: Wolf, Blue, Longhair, Paint, Bird, Deer, and Wild Potato. Each of these clans were unique in their skills and customs, but were all still part of the Cherokee tribe.
To be honest, there were way too many things we learned in the museum to try and recount them all. On more than one occasion, our eyes welled with tears learning about how these people have been treated, and we left with pain in our hearts for strangers that we've never met. On the walk to the prison museum, we walked through an art installation of various Cherokee artists from the area.
The prison museum started out by explaining how the tribal police were the official police of the Cherokee. In Cherokee Nation, these police officers enforce the laws on their lands, which may differ from state or federal law.
The next exhibit spoke about 2 Native Americans who were heroes in their culture but viewed as outlaws to the outside world. We learned the stories of Zeke Proctor and Ned Christie, 2 Cherokee men who stood up for what they believed to be right and who fought against the U.S. government until they died. We encourage you to look into their stories for yourselves. After walking outside, you are immediately greeted by a recreation of the gallows that hanged many Cherokees after being sentenced to death by their own people.
We then entered the building that used to serve as the actual prison and also the High Sheriff's home. In the basement was where all new prisoners entered. They were all given the same 4 things: a ball and chain, their convict uniform, a Bible in both Cherokee and English, and handcuffs to be used to transport them securely. The next floor was the holding cell for all the prisoners. What we found most surprising is that the High Sheriff lived on the floor above the cells with just a hatch and ladder access. Once he went to bed for the night, he'd pull up the ladder, and all that kept him safe besides the cells was the 15-foot gap to get to his hatch.
We just left the prison museum. It's actually a lot bigger than I thought. The picture online looks kind of small, but there's a couple buildings that you can go in and check out. Very interesting.
Now we are headed to the Cherokee Supreme Court Museum, which is right there. I'm looking at it right now. All of these museums are within like 2 blocks of each other.
Yeah.
So it's nice you can park in one spot and then just walk around and learn.
The final museum of the day was small, but packed a ton of information. This building is the oldest public building in the state, having been built in 1844 to be used as the Cherokee Supreme Court and Tahlequah District Court. The first room was dedicated to the Cherokee Phoenix, the first Cherokee-owned newspaper in the country. They had the printing press here as well as many of the original typeset. The paper has been running continuously since 1828.
The second floor was more focused on the laws and lawyers of Cherokee Nation. They had a very fun exhibit designed to make you find a question in a desk drawer and then find the answer located in a nearby bookcase. We felt like we were hunting down laws looking for answers like people who would have worked here did many years ago.
Alright, well, we just finished up at the Supreme Court Museum. Very interesting. They had really cool displays inside there, which we enjoyed.
Yeah, interactive displays are always fun.
It's like we're 5 years old again.
Pretty much are.
So I believe that's going to be all the museums that we're going to be able to hit today. Like we said, these are all within like a couple of blocks, so you can walk to all of them. There are other museums, but they're a little bit of a drive away, so with our little time crunch with Riley not being with us, we're not going to be able to make those today. But before we end the video, we are going to go find some local food.
As local as it gets in Cherokee Nation.
We have made it to our local food stop here at a food truck called Frybread Factory. We have had fry bread once before. If you have watched our Washington videos, when we went to Cape Flattery, we stopped at Pat's Fry Bread and it was delicious. We got something similar here. We have the Southwest fry bread. So it's a big hunk of fry bread with some taco meat, shredded lettuce, shredded cheese. I think there's black beans and corn and some kind of Southwest ranch drizzle on it. And we also got a piece of fry bread with some honey drizzled on it for a little dessert option. It looks very messy, but I'm going to try to get a bite of everything. It's going to be a very large bite. I don't think I'm going to be able to get this on. I realized I forgot to mention what fry bread is. If you don't know, it is flour, salt, fat, and water. And this one was very pillowy, super soft. Everything on top of it tastes delicious, and I'm going to eat this whole thing, and I don't know what Andrew's going to eat. So sad.
That's not cool.
But now I think he is going to try a bite of the fry bread with the honey drizzle on top.
So for dessert, like Candace said, we got a plain fry bread with a little bit of honey to drizzle on top. Seems a little bit more traditional than the, the one with all the taco stuff on it. Ooh, that's a little bit more honey. Ooh, this is gonna be messy. I'm losing my mind. A little crunchy. Very sweet with that honey. I think pillowy is the perfect word, like Candace said, who she stole it from. So we are going to finish our delicious lunch here and then head back to Riley, who I'm sure is ready for a little walking and exploration after being stuck at the cabin for the last couple of hours.
She's gonna be sad we didn't get her a Frybread taco.
I might save her a chunk, I haven't decided.
So we hope you all enjoyed this little glimpse into Cherokee Nation. Highly recommend coming here if you're ever in this part of Oklahoma.
And I think we mentioned it, all the museums that we went to today were free, which is awesome. And they were very moving. Like, come here prepared to learn. And I think it's important. A lot of people come here and learn about some of our history. So as always, we'll see y'all somewhere. Really? Well, good morning from... Every single beginning of every single shot gets messed up. It's insane when you do that.
I'm gonna hit you.
Good.
Squinty very bad. I forgot to mention what fried bread is. So it is, I already forgot what you said.
Got the...
Hang on, say that again. That car was driving by.
So for dessert, like Candace said, we got a plain
Thanks for watching Riley Roams. Click subscribe to keep up with all of our latest travels, and don't forget to click that like button too.